Okay.
Hey, what are you doing?
Put it in the mic.
Ha! Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, back.
We are back.
Back.
Nice to be back.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. Nice to be back. So because of the election, and because of all what's going on, and because of the sickness, and all of the people who are passing as a result of COVID, I have a lot to talk about. It's important that I begin this process. Everybody has to contribute something. For me, how do I turn this around? I know I took drugs as a child, but there we go. I know. Hit the button. Yeah. Wait. Look it up again. All right. So, hey, what's that? That's a podcast? That's FaceTime? So, this morning I noticed, or last night before I went to sleep, because I have a different time zone than you, I noticed that my daughter had posted something. She stepped into the shade room and talked about voting. I remember when she was filming it here in Bali. She's here for a month, Yoki, and we did some really good things, reinforcing all the stuff that I've been teaching them their whole lives. What are you trying to turn on there? That's YouTube?
I wanted to get the YouTube taping, but I don't know.
All right, well, that's all right.
I'll do the YouTube.
Oh, you do?
He's doing the YouTube. Don't worry about the YouTube. So, I wanted to talk about voting, what's at stake, just briefly, because it's boring. You all know. Women's reproductive rights are at stake. Healthcare is at stake. Your taxes are at stake. Police reform is at stake. All of these things, all in the local elections as well. But what we do about the police union and what we do about the black, what's it called, Gary? Noble, National Organization of Black Law Enforcement. I had spoken to Black Lives Matter leaders and the Noble leaders, and I wanted them to come to an agreement that we would promote free prosecutors. We need free prosecutors. Prosecutors can't be working for the police union. That's the answer. Accountability. That's on the ballot. Because if the Democrats win, and somewhere in the bottom of their bill, those scary Democrats, in the bottom of the scary Democrats' bill, exists a piece of that reform that includes police reform that works. And what works is legal and systematic change. And there's no discussion. They're all talking about individual cases, one after another. And why won't the prosecutor do his or her job? Because they work for the police union and city politics and the mayor. And so the Black Noble National Organization of Black Police, National Organization of Black Law Enforcement, Noble. They are have been willing to work with Black Lives Matter to create a partnership to promote what's going to really matter for our people. They're ready. So the organization of our people, with all the marching and all the dialogue about Black Lives Matter, I'm afraid that we will march for nothing. I mean, each individual case where someone is indicted when they should be is good, but I'm not as worried about punishing one policeman as I am changing the system so that police and their partners will feel accountable and will act differently. Getting someone after the crime is less important to me. I'm not a punishment person. I'm a reform person. So I'm not vindictive in that way. So anyway, that's my soft ass. I mean, the yogi thing, right? I sent a message to Satguru, and I'm hoping he'll respond just for the fun of it, because I saw Mike Tyson sent him a message. And I said, what is the yogi's responsibility? Is he responsible to get involved in politics? And someone wrote me back. Well, a lot of people wrote me back answers. Well, they are beyond the world. They're of the world, but not in it. And someone else wrote, they're there to hold space for those who are suffering because of the politics. Bullshit. Arjuna told Krishna, or Krishna told Arjuna, go chop their heads off. And Arjuna said, I want to go meditate, Lord. And Krishna's like, meditate? Do your duty. He said, I love you if you meditate, but I love you more if you do your duty. Your duty is to fight for humanity. And that's your karma, dharma, and all. Dr. King didn't wait. If you're a spiritual teacher and you have great influence, and there's many, or if you're a rapper and you have great influence, you know, it's good. It's not demanded of you, but he will love you more. God will love you more if you're Dr. King. Jesus could not avoid politics. He turned the tables over, you don't notice, about the animal abuse. He fought so many things that were part of the systems of the Romans that they had to come get rid of him. Dr. King, they had to come get rid of him. A lot of our great spiritual teachers were involved, and all the reverends who say, well, that has nothing to do with God. It has everything to do with God. The way you achieve God consciousness is that you do what God tells you is right. And if it's the abuse of human beings, enslaved or abused, or people are unequal, and you can see it and it's crystal clear, you can share your opinion with your followers and be a political activist. You cannot be a great spiritual teacher. You can be, but God will not sanction that piece of you, that hiding, that afraid to get in politics. Even the Pope said something which was very quote unquote political. The Pope said, yeah, same-sex unions, the compromise, give them a chance to be in love. The Pope, people were pissed. Why are you involved in politics? You are born political just as you are born spiritual. You are born. So, move on? You like the subject?
Talk politics.
You're born political. You are born because every action you take has some political ramification. So I tell that to my children, even if you become some preacher and you have a church and a congregation, you got to open your mouth about the oppression of the people. You got to open your mouth about the suffering of the animals, about the destruction of the planet. You got to open your mouth. So that's politics.
Voting.
Now, what else? Voting. Thank you, Brother Gary, Mom. Brother Gary is here today. Wave, Gary. No, nigga, wave, come wave. And they asked me, what about 50? They asked me, what about 50? That's my man. You know I speak to 50 all the time.
Yes.
Ice Cube had a right to ask everyone. Controversial here. What are you doing about Black America and the suffering of Black people and the economic, specifically the economic issues facing Black people? Timing. Oh yeah, timing. I'm not going to judge him for timing. He put that out long time ago. But I'm not going to judge him for timing. And I'm not going to push people in one direction or another. People have the right, you're going to be pissed, to vote their interests. Everybody votes their interests. I have Jewish friends that are only voting for Trump because, stop. They're voting for Trump because of Israel. AIPAC is supporting Trump quietly because they know it's iffy. This is not like, and then other people are voting for Trump because of their economics. If I was 50, he's a hustler. He wants to keep making money. He's voting his interests, maybe. Voting his interests. You should vote your interests. Most of us in our communities are going to get lower taxes. He will get higher taxes. I will have to pay more. I'm not voting my interests. I can tell you my vote is not for my interests. I will pay a little more, and it's okay. In fact, I pay a little more anyway. The book I'm putting out, I didn't mention, all the proceeds, all my proceeds to every book I give back. But that's me. Everybody doesn't have to do that. If I was 50, you know what I would do? I would denounce Trump and fuck Chelsea Handler. Did you see that? Brother Gary Muhammad said, why'd you say that? I would fuck Chelsea Handler and denounce Trump. Because remember she said one on TV, she said, I'm willing to, and he said, oh shit. He was joking, but she's probably joking too. I'm sure he's got a girl, he's happy.
Encourage young people to go out and vote is very important.
I'm not a fucking, yes, of course go out and vote. And yes, I encourage you to vote for Joe Biden.
Yes.
But if you're rich and you want to save some taxes, you might be better off with Trump. Not too many people are rich.
Don't say that.
It's true.
But let's vote.
I'm not going to vote for Trump.
No, but we want to vote for the masses.
I vote for the masses, Brother Gary.
I know, but tell people.
I'm not going to tell people to do shit.
Tell them to vote for Trump.
You know, Krishna told Arjuna about that battle I told you? About politics and about war and uncomfortable situations. He told him to go chop them niggas' heads off. But if not, go meditate and I'll still love you. Do what you want to do.
No.
But for your own spiritual path, it's nice to work for the collective, I think. I think if you vote for the collective, you're doing the right thing.
Vote for Biden.
Yeah, Democrats with their judgmental ass. Fuck you. Judgmental. They're so angry, the left wing. No, they're angry. They want it to be right. I'm more progressive than all them niggas. I'm more progressive. I want everybody to have health care. I want everybody to have free education all the way up. My friend was in Germany, went to health care, and she was shocked to find that she had the mammogram, the disogram, the that, all happened in different rooms, and she didn't even have a referral, and she was an American in Germany. She was shocked. I want health care. I want education to be free. I want people to have decent schooling, equal high-quality education. I want all the things, and they can even call me a socialist if they want. But that's what I want, and I'm willing to give away, a little bit of money I have to make sure it happens, along with the rest. If not, I'll do my philanthropic, social, and other work with some of the extra money I have. But I'll do better by giving it directly to the sources. But what were you talking about? What do you want me not to say, Gary? I bet you won't repeat it.
I want you to focus on getting the young people to go out and vote.
We're going to vote.
Election.
Motherfuckers voting.
But it's a critical
They're going to vote. I have total confidence that they're going to vote. And I think I should go back to 50, who is my dear friend. He's voting his interests, and he has every right to do so. Ice Cube has every right, and just in case Republicans win, to offer plans for black people, and they can also share that when the Democrats get in office, I hope. Everybody has a right. I don't judge this whole idea. You know something, what I was saying about the Democrats, and I can say it now, it's okay. Stop saying no.
Time, Russell, time. No.
Timing. We all should get together and we all should vote. Then we should all get together and push them to do what's in the bottom of the police reform bill.
Right.
The bottom of the police reform bill is the most important thing. Hidden because they're afraid of the police unions. The Democrats who created this bill, in the bottom of the bill it says prosecutors who will come from a national organization that will have the right to prosecute and will even... Today, if I prosecute Gary as a city prosecutor, I prosecute him and put him in jail, I get a feather in my cap. But if I prosecute a policeman today, if I prosecute a policeman, they'll chop my neck off. So we need the prosecutors free to prosecute and incentivized to prosecute bad police, and that will be a good start. I bet you police education will come from that. I bet you chokehold issues will be dealt with from that. A chokehold is a very horrible thing, and that's where we've seen multiple deaths happen to black people. But I saw someone shot in Philadelphia yesterday. They're just scared. They've not been educated. They're racist. And our good cops are leaving the force. They don't feel supported. They don't feel like they're on the right side of history. They don't feel comfortable. So as our good cops leave the force, who is joining the force? Who is taking those jobs? Sometimes people can't wait to shoot a black person. The polarization in this country is outrageous. We shouldn't let, and I'm always going to preface it what I think, and I'm not going to judge those who think differently. That's going to be the thing about my podcast, is to relieve the polarization and promote a more unified bridge building process. Because we have to listen. Everything Donald Trump did is not wrong. Everything the Democrats do is not right.
But he's not unifying the country.
Well, no, I believe, of course.
You're practicing unity, and Trump is not so.
Gary's just another angry left-wing person.
It's not
I'm more left-wing than all of these people. Well, my belief systems, but I also want to promote compassion and love and thoughtfulness and all the things that the left-wing is ignoring. So when we get in office, do we want to just keep canceling the world and
Joe
being
is
angry?
promoting-
What if I decide as a left-wing person I like guns? What if I wake up one morning out of a religious dream and decide I want no abortion? What if I wake up in the morning and decide that the factory farming industries are doing the best to feed all the people? What if I wake up and decide all my left-wing friends will start yelling at me? Who the fuck are they to tell me what to think? If I read some scripture and believe that God wants me to do a certain thing, I should have the right to think so. We need freedom of thinking.
That's
And if we're free thinkers, the Pope, if he was forced and pushed a wall, would vote.
Who's
All of
promoting
God's
love?
messengers would vote Democrat. Is that what you want me to say?
Who's promoting love right now?
Nobody's promoting love.
Joe is promoting love.
Joe is more. Oh, Joe is way more
He's the one
about
that's
the
trying to
unification.
bring about America together, regardless of who you are, what you are, how you stand, what you do. Let's come together and work it out.
That's true.
Trump is saying, F that.
That's true.
Shoot niggas. Block the street. Dude, he's dividing the country. He's creating a war.
But we don't want to be angry. We cast our vote and we promote voting to others and we give people our opinions. When I asked Satguru, what do you think? You know, they're silent. Dr. King promoted voting and he's pointed out the difference in the parties and what he had at stake. Jesus Christ was a political figure. Couldn't escape it. So I said that to Satguru and I say that to all the spiritual teachers, all of them. Spiritual teachers don't speak up. I don't know if you guys have heard of QAnon. You know QAnon? QAnon, they believe that Trump is a messenger. I know this nigga 37 years. He is not a messenger, a light worker. They say he's bringing about truth. And they say that all the left-wing people, all of the left-wing people are pedophiles sitting in Hollywood with a secret society. I got in trouble. There's so many crazy people on Twitter, and when I said QAnon is ridiculous. Those people couldn't keep a secret. I know every one of those people. Ellen DeGeneres is not a pedophile ringleader. Oprah is not a pedophile ringleader. Tom Hanks, the sweetest man in the world, is not a pedophile. So the yogis, especially here in Ubud, there's people who say, because they're so shocked at the world, they're so damaged by what they see happening in the world that they have to have a conspiracy that will feed them some kind of answers. They have to have an answer. And the answer to them is QAnon. It must be that the world is upside down. It's not upside down. Voting is serious. The state of America is dire. The need for our voices of love and compassion and the choices that will promote love, compassion, unification, and equality is now, this minute. So vote. Yes, I say vote Joe Biden. Don't judge others. Don't attack everyone who thinks differently. Give people your reasoning. Listen to their reasoning. Listen. And then vote Joe Biden or vote how your heart tells you. All right. I want to talk more often, but I want to bring guests on. I want to hear their stories. And I want to talk about everything. I want to talk about this podcast. I want to talk about Jay-Z's early days and Puffy. And I want to talk about Kevin Hart's first performance and Dave Chappelle. I want to talk about everything. Run DMC, Beastie Boys, all that shit. But on this podcast, I want to talk about the way forward. I want to talk about my book quite a bit because I think it's important that we develop lifestyles that combat the struggle and the suffering that will come with COVID for those who haven't already received a backlash for the lives they've lived. I lost at least 12 friends to COVID. And the 12 friends that I lost had health issues. And we can avoid those health issues with the proper choices. So I want us to eat to live. And things that will reduce the sickness in our bodies. And I want us to exercise daily. I've given instructions on ways to promote circulation throughout the whole body. I've given instructions on ways to meditate because when the mind is still, healing occurs. I've given us a diet that I believe, and I think many people would tell you, is healthy. and a great alternative to the food, the poison that the factory farming industry is feeding us, poisoning us. Let me give you an example of the kind of information that's in the book. There are 2,000 things that are banned from food in Europe. Only 200 are banned in America. They are poisoning you. They are poisoning you. And then they are feeding you drugs that don't really help you. They just cure the symptoms, but they exacerbate the problems. They are poisoning you. So I want to promote a diet that will make you happier and healthier. I want to promote a lifestyle that can move you forward, a post-pandemic lifestyle. A post-pandemic lifestyle is very, very necessary if we want to survive. We don't know when to give us a vaccine or if we want to fuck with the vaccine. Of course, I would rather take one than not, but I'm not the first person. I won't be the first person. But be careful, wear a mask, work out daily, cut out the animal products, and meditate. Let the mind settle. Be at ease. Calm your nervous system, the cause of lots of your sickness. Have circulation in your body. And live a life free from stress. And that will require you to do some work in some cases. Work on your health. Do what's necessary. Because the pandemic does not discriminate. If you have diabetes, get the truth. It's not the sugar, it's the meat. If you have hypertension, get the real research. You know, I watched last night, just for the hell of it, I watched What the Health again. A lot of what's in that movie is in my book, What the Health, on Netflix. And I watched Game Changers not too long ago, and I watched, there's many documentaries. Fat, Sick, and Almost Dead, that what they're called? So I promote to you to fast. I promote to you to fast once a week, water. And then I promote to you to eat between maybe 11 and 7. I do 12 and 6. 18 hours I don't eat. And then my body can eat the sick fat that's sitting there. Because your body is smarter than you think. So I talk about intermittent fasting and how to do it. What to eat. And try to protect yourself. The collective can go terribly wrong. If everybody's doing it, doesn't mean shit. Everybody's doing it. A great teacher said, meditate on it. The preacher, the imam, the rabbi, the monk can give you false information. And until you meditate on it and double check it, it's not true. None of it is true until you've meditated on it yourself. You don't have to belong to a box. Gary will object, but I'm saying yes, vote for Biden, yes, vote. But you don't have to belong to a box. You don't have to believe all of the 15 things that are being taught to you by one group of angry left-wing people who are socialized to believe one group of things.
But you're a globetrotter, Russell. You see what's happening in the world. Trump has done more harm to the world.
I know how much harm Trump has done to the world.
So let us unite.
But I want, as individuals, us to be thinkers and be free and not be angry at each other or demonize people who think differently.
It's a good message, but not today.
We
got to get rid of Trump today.
We got to get rid of Trump today, he said. What's that?
That's my jamu.
You drinking jamu, Gary? Gary came here. This nigga was pre-diabetic when he came here. He worked for me for 30 years almost. He went away for 25 years. He came back. He was pre-diabetic. He was fucked up. He lost a lot of weight. He's in great shape. He's drinking jamu. Jamu has a lot of turmeric in it.
All of that stuff.
My day, come say hello, my day. But then you have to get me turmeric. Come on. Come on, come be on camera. Look at her, she's smiling and shit. Come here, look at the camera. Bend over, look at the camera. Hello. That's my day. Save my day. So.
Hello.
Bring me turmeric.
Turmeric. Give him turmeric.
Yes.
Okay.
Only a little because I cannot have 50 calories. I have to have an empty stomach. So I'm going to go to yoga. I go every single day. I got it. I'm 150. You know that? Trump? What about Trump? Not here. Not here, though. Not there. So what I want from people is, I pray that they will take care of themselves during this time. I lost my very, very, very best friend to COVID, and it was because of a pre-existing health condition. And I lost many other friends. And I'm praying that you will take care of yourselves so that you can survive. My book is called Eat to Live, a post-pandemic lifestyle. Also in the book is at least 50 recipes. How to cook cheap vegan food. Healthy, cheap. Affordable. You don't like the word cheap. Luxurious. What's the word?
It's affordable. It's what the wealthy would eat, but we make it affordable.
The wealthy eat shit. Do you know that the history of vegan diets and healthy diets is that the wealthy thought it was cool to eat meat, and then they push it on the poor people. They say, "Oh, I can't wait to have a steak." And the wealthy were dying. The aristocracies around the world were dying because of their diet, while the poor who ate vegetables had healthier diets. Didn't have access to the health care, but they had healthier diets and lived longer because they ate more natural foods as opposed to eating the animal products. And when the Irish came here, it wasn't corned beef and cabbage, it was just cabbage. Many of the slaves went on hunger strikes because they only wanted okra and beans and other stuff, and they were like, "What are you trying to feed us?" They would not eat animals, many slaves. So there's that history where there was very little meat, and so we survived with very little meat, or none, in many cases. Okay, so we're going to sit up, we're going to meditate 5 minutes for those who want. I promised that I would teach people to meditate daily, but we're going to be very quick, maybe only 2 minutes. But I want to teach you so you can sit for 20 minutes when I go to class. You sit up straight, your spine goes up. There's a string that pulls your head to God. You sit up, shoulders are back, gut is up and in, your Muladhara chakra, and your Muladhara, Uddiyana Bandha, and Jalandhara Bandha. These 3 bandhas are up and in, right? And the breath comes in and out naturally. And you sit patient. Patience is the number 1 virtue. There's Andre Harrell. Andre's the cat I found in the forest, named after Andre. Yeah. So you sit, the mind is going to go crazy, lots of thoughts. Come on. Lots of thoughts come through your mind, they come and go. Guy, beside turmeric, what is in Jamu?
Ginger.
Yeah, of course, ginger.
A little lime.
Yeah.
A little coconut water.
Okay. So you sit up, you're patient. And we begin to repeat a mantra. But we repeat it in our head. And the mantra that I share with the collective is Rum. Closely associated with the 2nd chakra. Swastisthana chakra. But anyway, it's just a vibration. It doesn't have to have a meaning. And this vibration resonates through you and you think the mantra. Another way to describe meditation is single-pointed focus. You think the mantra. You sit at ease. The mantra will come and go over and over. But keep coming back to the mantra. In many ways, yoga is the practice to keep coming back over and over, to remember God, or the focus. The focus, if it's the present moment, that is God. Be here now. Think the mantra. Expect nothing. The mantra is Ram. Patience is the key. For those who are patient, the mind will settle. There's no escaping meditation. Deep meditation comes from stillness. When the nervous system calms, the mind follows. Very simple process. I'm going to take a question from Instagram, and then I'm going to go. Let's see, what does it say here? Thompson and 2 other people. I have class. You say, I'm waiting for to hope. What time is it? It's class time. So the message for the day was vote. The message for the day was get out and vote. And also those...
Make history. Be a part of history.
Be a part of history. He wants an uplifting only. Yeah. Be a part of history. Think for yourself a little bit too. Meditate on your choices. Do not let the collective push you. Don't be part of a gang. Wear your mask. Work out daily. What else?
Very important. The health is the health, man.
Well, the whole thing is about health. Spiritual health. Part of voting gives you, this person's not picking up. Voting gives you, oh God, Charles X. Voting gives you a sense of connectivity. When you are isolated, you are sick.
Yeah,
And when you,
bro, see?
what up, man?
It was good, bro.
I'm all right. What's going on? Tell me.
I missed you, man. I'm in Detroit right now.
Well, I'm okay now. How you?
I'm doing all right. I just got done meditating with you. I'm about to go grab some food. I wish it was vegan, but you can't. There's no, like, grocery stores here.
Yeah, there's many places where we have food deserts. And that's a very scary dilemma that we have to work with. I remember building food marts in Flint, Michigan, where they needed iron and they needed other things that were available in vegetables. And every Sunday at the church, we built a food mart, and it sold out instantly. There are some investors who are trying to bring fruits and vegetables into some hoods that don't have the proper amount of fruits and vegetables to feed the communities. That's going on all over the country, but we need to work on that. Right now, obviously, it's at a low. All right, big bro, go on through your thing.
I'm going to put a garden out here, so that's happening.
Good idea.
Yeah, I bought 2 houses out here, so I'm fixing them up. I'm pretty sure there's other people who want to hop on. But, yo, we missed you, bro. Good to see you back alive.
Voice.
Peace.
Peace. All right, this is it. I'm going to go to class. I just wanted to speak to my brother. So who else is there? Make sure you add honey to your turmeric. No, I don't add sugar. But there's nothing wrong with honey. I mean, as a vegan, as a compassionate vegan, a lot of people don't use honey.